Japan is typically known across the globe for its amazing public transportation and punctuality, but when you're in Hokkaido, it's quite common for tourists to book a rental car to see what Japan's second biggest and coldest prefecture has to offer. Unless you're like me and didn't book your rental car in advance, forcing you to change your whole itinerary because everything was booked out. Thankfully, I still managed to find some cool things to do at the last minute, but of course, I somehow had to make things worse by missing my connecting bus to get to Bear Mountain. Alright guys, it's officially the next day in Sapporo, and it is snowing. I don't know if you guys can see it on camera, but it's actually snowing right now. I mean, this is to be expected, but we're actually gonna go to Noboribetsu right now, which is considered one of the most popular hot springs to go to in Hokkaido. And we're gonna go just walk around. There's a bear park there. There's one of the popular valleys there. And I originally intended to rent a car, but they're all booked up, unfortunately. And not everything goes as planned, but we just gotta work with what we have and still enjoy the trip here, because this is still an amazing experience. So it seems like they're taking out garbage. Okay guys, so right now we're gonna go walk to the subway that's over here. Not too far, thankfully. We're in a really good location. And from Sapporo, it should only take about roughly 2 hours by one train and a bus, I think. So I have to cross the street right now. And the only thing about, you know, especially being a New Yorker, guys, we don't wait for like the street lights in New York. So when I just like see like there's no cars coming and everyone's just like still waiting like 5 minutes or so, like the New Yorker in me is just like, damn, I want to cross, but I'm not trying to get in trouble in a foreign country. It's just not worth it. Customer service in Japan is actually wild. Like, they're at a gas station and they just like welcome them, because you don't pump your own gas in Japan, just like New Jersey. But people just pull up and they just like welcome people with such exuberance and excitement. It's just like kind of wild thing. Even at a gas station, you can get that kind of customer service. So we made it to the station, and it shouldn't be too hard to get to where we need to. If anyone's wondering about how the stations are in Sapporo, if you're staying in the city center, there are a lot of stops, but if you're going outside the city center, it could be rather hard to get to some places from what I saw. So having a rental car or taking a bus should be something to be expected. Oh, poor me in the past, not realizing that you're on the wrong platform. Alright guys, so we made it to our first stop, and hopefully they just take the Suica card and we can get to where we need to. But this is the view from here, guys. It's pretty nice. Like, Sapporo definitely seems to be more of a chill city to go to. There's not a whole lot of tourists either. I swear I'm probably like the first black person some of these people have seen in their lives. But that will be a story for a different time. I'm not gonna lie, I thought I was at the wrong stop since the directions weren't really clear, but the bus eventually showed up, thankfully. Although, I goofed when I realized that my Suica card wasn't charged and I didn't have enough cash to go straight to Although along the way you will see some amazing views of Hokkaido, and I was able to recharge it at a nearby 7-Eleven when we stopped at Noboribetsu Cultural Center. On my way there, I noticed something funny about the weather here too. Alright guys, so one thing that occurred to me was the fact that I actually need to recharge my Suica card or I won't be able to get back. So I'm heading down to 7-Eleven just to do that so I can exchange my currency, get more yen, and that way we can travel around more and see what it is that I really want to see while I'm here. But I also met some really cool Thai people that decided to come here to Sapporo for the first time. And I thought it was very interesting because I didn't realize just how many people, especially in warmer areas like that, would even want to come here for vacation. But I guess it makes sense because some people in those warmer regions have never seen snow before. So they want to experience it for the first time. And I feel like Hokkaido is definitely one of those places where you definitely experience it in a really comfortable and easy way, especially if you're living in Southeast Asia. The views are so nice. And it looks like 7-Eleven is right over there. But I'll talk to you guys when we get to our next destination.
10 minutes later.
I was only in that 7-Eleven for 10 to 15 minutes, and tell me how I'm already caught in a flash snowstorm. And it blows my mind because not long before going in the Konbini, it was still sunny and the storm itself only lasted about 25 minutes. But the wind and the snow definitely would have had me all kinds of messed up if I wasn't prepared. 25 minutes later, the snowstorm stopped and my connecting bus finally arrived. So guys, I originally missed the first connecting bus, unfortunately, due to the fact that I had to refill my Suica card. So do not make that same mistake. Make sure you have over 2,000 yen in your Suica card just to make sure. Because if not, you'll end up having to walk all the way to a 7-Eleven and get more yen that way. Make sure that you're prepared so you're not like me. Alright guys, and just like that, we made it to Noboribetsu Onsen Central. A lot of you may be wondering why I may not be going to an onsen. Unfortunately, I don't feel like I have enough time to go to the onsen. It's already pretty late considering that I missed my connecting bus originally. This is pretty much where you guys will be getting off. You guys come here, stay to go to the onsen. It smells like sulfur. Right over here is where we can get to the bear park. Actually nice and warm too, guys. Not really a big fan of lighter roast coffee, but it'll do for now. But it looks like we have to climb up these giant stairs here since we're obviously not driving a car. One mistake I made while coming up here and drinking this is not drinking it down there because there's most likely not going to be a recycling bin here. Not really knowing much about this place, I wasn't sure why there was a gondola, but I guess we'll find out later. The process of getting the tickets were rather easy. They were about $20, and there's even a lot of souvenirs that you're able to buy too. If you're coming here solo and are afraid of heights, don't worry because you'll have a partner with you along the ride. But honestly, coming up and down was definitely one of my highlights because you get such an amazing view up here. Bye Bear Bay. And just like that, we're off the gondola. It smells like sulfur. So guys, this is pretty much what you'll see when you come up here. Wow, this is such a vibe. I need to take a picture real quick. But there appears to be a squirrel enclosure as well. Oh, there's ducks here. Oh, look at the duckies. Not gonna lie, but coming here definitely gave me school trip vibes, although I don't know if I would have appreciated this kind of stuff as much when I was much younger. That's really cute, guys. So they actually have bear food here for you to feed the bears, which a little shocking that you can just like playfully feed bears like that. What is human cage? I gotta see what this is. But before we do that, let's go say hello to the bears. Unfortunately, during winter months, they aren't really as active, but during warmer months, they'll even climb trees and you'll be able to see their cubs as well. As for the human cage, during warmer seasons, you'll be able to interact with them more closely and feed them through these tubes. And it looks like you could feed the bears through this little thing here. You just put it through there and you just pretty much just push it in. Not to mention there's shows inside with the cubs, and I usually feel weird about these kind of things, but apparently the place actually does a good job of taking care of the now endangered Hokkaido brown bears and spreading awareness about their relevance and its connection to the indigenous Ainu people of Hokkaido. Oh wow, these are chipmunks though. So tiny. When you finally make it to the top of the Bear Museum and Cafe, you'll be greeted with an amazing view of the lake, and best believe I got some fire shots for my IG. Overall, Bear Park is a fire day trip you can make from Sapporo, especially if you guys are already going to the hot springs regardless of something tragic happening on my way back to the city.